Greeks, join us. Okay, we do an Antarctica connection and North Pole frequency. First, we're going this way in the U.S. We're going in Canada. We're getting hit by the Arctic, at least. Well, I think we're at the end of an hour. I don't pay attention to the weather, but of course, where I am, it's not nowhere near as bad as up north. But I'm not going to get to the weather. Just get to Antarctica and basically like the North Pole, just the pole shift energies, just the portals that are there. Yeah, we're not going to do any weather reports or anything like that. The aliens or whoever is there, the Norse god, Thor and all of those guys, if they need to chime in, something like that. So just keep a short one here. Going all the details of it. Of the day. Okay, so I'm going to talk for our sessions. Scheduler. And we have the shop here. All right. Thank you for your support. Okay. Okay, we're going to Antarctica and just let it. It does feel like in Antarctica is areas where there's no time. Which I can see that for sure. I'm not sure how that works on a physical level, but I didn't even notice that. So I guess it all depends on who you are. Yeah, the energy of it depends on who you are. Kind of vibes you have. So all right. Thanks. Priscilla's here. She might pop in every once in a while. Yeah, let me just let her. Let me just do a quick okay. Yeah, Frizzy's sleeping. She's a queen. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings and energies of Antarctica. Blessings. The idea is to trust yourself, as many are not doing so. Society itself is on it's like it's on a train track and just goes wherever it's directed to. Most of society does that. And those of you that can do differently, sometimes you have to be on that train with them just because that's where the consciousness is going. So that doesn't mean you like the direction the world is going. You can notice you can improve, do better, and do other things. But as you can see, it's a lot of misdirection here. Well, because society has to learn, the hard way. Just because not everybody does, but sometimes you have to go with the flow of your world's population frequency, unless you leave like a country. Some countries can stay out of it, but especially the United States. The United States is still a youngster, so it is like a teenager. So of course it's going to do all these mistakes and have all this drama, like a teenager complaining about this and that, and it's going through puberty and things like that. So it's a country doing that, and not everybody has to go through it, but quite a few of you do. And even the people that live, in those countries are kind of like your cells of its frequency, you're part of its DNA. And, you just go with the flow of it, because it is basically, you are there to mature nations. It's just some nations are harder to mature than others due to manipulations, but also if there's a manipulation, it just shows there's a weakness within the nation itself, within the country itself. So as for Antarctica's frequency, there is a lot of time travel or vibrations there. Obviously, it's not always going to be seeing the physical, what's happening. There's a lot of multi-dimensional beings. What they like on the alien frequencies or multi-dimensional beings in general, of course, there's always beings around, but those that have it like touchdown on your Earth, it's just that Antarctica, there's nobody there. And it's easier to read the frequencies. The North Pole is actually a lot more activity there. You would think it would be the other way around. But Antarctica is actually pretty quiet, because the North Pole is on the north. There's just a lot of entry there. There's a lot of beings coming and going. You can say Antarctica is, yes, secret projects. As you some are just they're trapped there. They're mentally trapped. They haven't quite been able to learn how to release those timelines yet. You can go on and on with that. But the idea is to unlock the Antarctica frequencies, and it can be a gradual pull shift. Basically, you don't necessarily have to deal with it in the physical, but you can feel like the continents in a different part of your world, and just a different world altogether. If you want to remote view it or just connect to the future of or the past, but usually it's better to connect to the future than the past, because the past is the past. It's good. There is time here. I mean, you might not think so, but there is. It's good to connect to the future and just see yourself. What is your involvement with this Earth? Of course, there's multiple versions of Earth, but this one, as you can see, needs a lot of help. It's just, you can say it's been stagnant, lost for some time. And a lot of the souls that incarnate here get lost and stagnant. And you're trying to help humanity. You're trying to help the planet itself, but then you try to help like one individual, and it's like, I can't get this person to do anything. What about the planet itself? And you have millions or billions that are in the same situation. It's like a flat tire that doesn't want to come off, doesn't want to change, doesn't want to evolve, and so on. So the Antarctica frequencies, there's a lot of magic connected to, of course, a lot of Atlantean, also ancient civilizations that left their mark here. Because we went into more of the physical realm, so obviously the multi-dimensional realms are still there, but not there to be seen. Well, it can be seen. That's why you see other versions of Earth. That's why you see Tartaria and other civilizations that doesn't necessarily have to be remembered. Those have been through the mud flood. We can say it comes also from another version of Earth that this world was connected to, but then this world went to a different direction, you could say. Even the World's Fair. It's like this world was on the World's Fair timeline for a while, but you say humanity was just not ready to evolve with the World's Fairs as you've seen it. So then they, started to vanish. This world, society here definitely takes its time. It does go backwards a lot. Oh, because it just hasn't learned its lessons from the past. It doesn't, some of you are ready to evolve, but most of society is not. It's the way it is. As you can see, with a lot of your families are the same way. You have some family members that are not they're drama free, want to evolve, and then you have others that are just angry, yelling at each other, and just being evil to each other, backstabbing, and so on. So who's the adult there? Who's the kids? So it's not always the age. Yes, as I say, is just a number. It could be a 5-year-old, someone's the most grown up in the family, and the rest of them are just infine, destroying each other. So, and try telling that to a family that has conflict, that they have to get their act together. Or, well, it would be nice. It'd be a nice change of flow, but many choose not to. He says where a lot of Anunnaki frequency is. And Anunnaki, but also just your alien species, your elf people. A lot of the elf people here are pretty decent. Some of them can be very manipulative also, especially male elves manipulating female energies here. Like they're a little bit romantic beings, so they can manipulate the female pretty easily, and the female can't always see it happening. They can cloak their frequency. It's kind of like a shark without a fin. It just comes out of nowhere and grabs you. So, meaning that was maybe more like a manipulation that you don't see coming. So the elf beings are like that. There's even sometimes you're coming up to Valentine's Day. Sometimes you're Cupid. There is such thing as like a dark Cupid that is actually there to break up relationships. When there's one to bring it together, there's another one to break them up. So I don't believe that has been made that well known either. Well, sometimes, breakups are not always a bad thing. A lot of times that's actually probably a good thing. There might not be enough of those happen. The ones that just need to break up, they're just, a mess. Those are the types that break up. The ones that stay together usually are hard to break apart. But the ones that need to break apart, that's where the dark keep it comes in. So it's something to think about there, however you want to visualize that one. But once again, the infighting within the family, yes, and then you have like a reptilian family member and a feline and so on, and it just never got along in other realities. It's like they have to duke it out, basically, hopefully to calm things down or make some amends. Not always the case. So your galactic wars is in the family wars. It's another way of looking at it. So, brings to you the consciousness of the North Pole. The idea is to not get pulled in or sucked into someone else's reality. To stand your ground. Because there is, you see firemen and police. Some of you are firemen or firewomen, or some of you put out fires, as you know, in your society, at work, at home, whatever it might be. Energetic fires. So there's probably a better word for it, but we'll just call it that. And some of you have been in police within your families and so on, and within society, and without the badge. Where sometimes you might see like you have a badge somewhere, at least on an energy level. But as to the North Pole frequencies, yes, it's basically it's an entry point for many different beings, and it is a neutral zone, you can say, for all kinds of entities to connect. But of course, those that are difficult here, the ones that are very extremely difficult, you can say, if they can get through the Earth's protections, most likely somebody here on this reality needs the challenge from those difficult beings, which does keep this world at a slow pace. It actually gets slower. When lower dimensional beings connect new ones, you think the world is slow now. Then it even goes to an absolute, almost a stop. Some of you might feel that. Some of you might also feel like things have been slow recently. But that's also because there's individuals here that need things to be slow. So they weren't very they're taking their time. But also sometimes it's for yourself to like you're in a situation and you need time to just take it easy. So you can decide what you want to do in that situation. And then you can go back to an even flow, more flexibility. So there's just a lot. Yeah, it's not everything needs to be known on a conscious level, but it's basically clearing out your mind and also solving, mental difficulties, because there are people that you can bring into your life that can actually slow you down. And yes, you might have the best intentions, but they can actually not necessarily take you off track, but they can slow down your reality. Of course, they can also increase your reality and actually make things happen even faster. But if they learn very slowly, you go slow with them. That's not always a bad thing. It all depends on the situation. But sometimes they can pick up on your frequency and actually speed up when they're ready. But sometimes they're at such a level that they're just slow. That doesn't mean it necessarily derails you, but there are cases where it can derail you. But they're not intentionally doing it. So basically, can we all get along? Basically, they're not intended to here. Some of you are here to get along, but not everyone's intended to. It's basically this planet is one of its diversity connections. Just like you're just all so different, and that's not everyone's. There are worlds where everybody likes each other. Does that get boring? Not after you come from a world like this. Come from a world like this, it's nicer to be a world where everyone's, hey, how's it going? And people are just not aggressively nice, just like a timid, calm nice. If everyone is aggressively nice, say, you're welcome and thank you and every time. Yeah, it might drive you insane. But if things are just, you just know you're in good company, it can help you relax and release a lot of aggravation you went through in this incarnation. And it can help you heal any type of traumas you've been here also, because a lot of traumas can't be healed in this reality. We can go to other physical realities and release it too. Basically, you just go like to a vacation planet. But also, vacation planet, if you go to heal, the idea is to learn from what you've learned here. The idea is you heal, but you don't want to just heal and not learn anything. The idea is to know why, what happened, and why, because you can't always see it here in this reality for various different reasons. It just, yeah, you're just not supposed to see the shadows of your incarnation. Just there's so much here that's hidden from you. Yeah, there's a whole backstory to practically everything, everyone you know here, every place you live, even some of your decisions, a backstory to. Yeah, that's a long novel there. Doesn't mean you have to know it in all realities. There's some realities you can get some insight. Of course, you go into the spirit realms, you can see everything clearly. But there are realities where you just heal what you need to heal and so on. So, but the North Pole frequency, it is to bring something new here. But it does the North Pole get manipulated? Yes, there are intense beings that connect. It can slow down your reality to a certain extent, but eventually it'll be brought back to where it needs to be. There are just entities that just have so much negativity around them. They can slow anything down. It's just that they have so much chaos built into them. It's like, yes, it's like mud. It's just they stop everyone's timeline. They can stagnate anybody, especially themselves. And yeah, you wonder how things get so slow here because the lower dimensions have they have so many issues, difficulties, and it just slows everything down. They have all these traumas and they hold on to them in the lower realms. Sometimes they just relive it over and over again because they have some kind of thrill about some fetish that's there. So you wonder why things are so slow here. It's because you have the lower dimensional energy. Well, they feel like it's knowledge too. Without going into all the details of the world's problems, because that can get kind of sensitive. But it's, all the world devices are in the lower dimensions. And of course, they feel like they have all the knowledge there. And they keep it. They like that knowledge. They like all that violence and traumas and all the horrible things. And you're kind of pulling from it. You're learning from it. Doesn't mean you have to experience it, but you're feeling it from other people. Like some people can be violent instantly and all of that because they're getting manipulated by their lower dimensions because they have a weakness within themselves. They can get really fragile with this type of subject matter. Yeah, and of course there are people that are just too sensitive here, or obviously those that are censoring everything. But just think about all the world's problems are in the lower realms, and all these entities are carrying all different types of just horrible things. And that's why they feel like they have an upper hand on society. As a higher dimensions, you release all that. But then you get kind of weaker not necessarily, but some do get very weak. They become so high vibrational, they forget what happens in the lower dimensions. And that's why they get pulled down to it so easily. So that's why you have to kind of have a middle ground in light and dark. It's good to have light and dark for sure within yourself, for sure. Blessings.